Mr. Hodgins, you're from California?
That's correct, Stockton, California.
As a home builder. I think you hear California. I'm from Florida, member of Congress in Florida. But in Vegas have been hit the hardest in terms of some of the areas with, but looking at some of the incentives, you think of a recession down 3-4%, 5-10% in business, but home builders, at least in our area, many of them are down 50, 60, 70%. It's simply a supply and demand issue. We're way overbuilt and we just don't have the demand right now. Some of these incentives that you're talking on behalf of yourself and the Home Builders Association, what do you think are the top 2 or 3 that really can make a difference? I mean, it's nice to have tax credits, as you mentioned, to give to the buyers, but from the builder's standpoint, unless you have a way of selling off those credits, generate some cash, many of them have losses, so I'm not sure, where we go with that. But I want to talk to you a little bit about just what more we can do to help without goofing things up here, but actually be a real help to small home builders and builders in general, because it's a huge issue.
Well, I hate to be limited just a few, but let me give you top 2.
Well, give me your top 2 or 3 then.
You're absolutely right. Our market is down 60-70% from 2 years ago, and we're predicting a market to go even lower in 2008. Just as an example, if I may, we do the front end of construction work, and we do energy design and mechanical design, etc. 2 years ago, we were doing around 21,000 permits through our office. And it sounds like a large number, but let me kind of give you a perspective on that. And that means that we did about 800 master plans, and those are homes that are models that other homes will be built from. And that was in 2005. This year, we've done 8. So new construction is stopped, and builders really are not taking the risk because of the foreclosure market product that's coming down the road and the inventory that they had. But in our market, and I apologize, I'm not familiar with the Florida market, really most home builders has eliminated their own inventory, and it's now the recurring, the inventory that's coming back that is really causing the supply. So to me, the number one thing to a small business is expanding the carryback period for the net operating loss. That would allow capital immediately into this year, into the builder's books, and allow them to take credit for that. The second is allow the builder...
On that, how far are you looking to carry it back?
I believe currently it's a 2-year carryback, and it's been proposed for 4 years.
Okay.
And that is what we're supporting.
Okay.
The second, which is more dear to my heart necessarily, is I'm an energy efficiency advocate and try to push builders to go beyond just code. And what's very difficult in our market now is the federal tax credit for energy efficient new housing. It was passed for 3 years and then it's extended for a year. The mentality of the home builder is, if I want to do something and change for market differentiation so I can sell my product as opposed to a different product, is I need a long-term risk assessment. So when I'm building a product, I have to look at where that product's going to be 2-3 years down the road. And if the tax credit's only good for a year, I'm not going to make that judgment call, because I don't want a product I build in 2008 to look different than the product I build in 2009 or 10. So we really support an extension. I know the House and the Senate have passed different versions of 2 years. I think personally that's far too short. It should be a long-term effort, a 5 or 10-year credit, or make it permanent and make it above code. So you're always driving energy efficiency. So those would be my top 2.
Okay. I know in our area, the whole concept of green housing and more efficiency is not just in our area, but something we need to do as a country. Mm-hmm. When you're talking about tax incentives for buyers, I assume that's what you're referring to. Is that what you're talking about there?
Well, the tax credit I was talking about specifically is 45L, an extension of that, and that actually goes to the home builder. So the person who makes the decision in that...
What about the purchaser?
The purchaser, we're also supporting that extension be... I believe that also has been proposed for a 2-year extension.
Because I think there's a lot of people that will buy homes if there's some tax credits as a way of stimulating the market, move out of what they've got if they can cut their energy cost in half. And that's a good thing for everybody.
Absolutely. That, I believe, is covered in 179 on the commercial side,
Okay.
and I'm not a tax person, so I'm not sure what the residential, I think it's 25 with a letter after it.
The other thing, I'd like to get your general feeling on the, just real quick, on the subprime. How did that affect your area? They said 20% of homes that were sold in the last 3 years were subprime lending, which is, as you know, people don't qualify for conventional financing, so we've created all this creative financing. But what's been your experience in your immediate market, that area? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, Stockton occasionally gets national publicity. One of those was about 6 weeks ago as being the foreclosure capital of the nation. So we have very direct experience, and it's approximately 40% of our market was sold in 05 and 06. And about 2 out of every 5 homes were sold in the subprime market, or with subprime market type loans. So that's coming back to really build inventory, and inventory is it's a supply and demand. So what we're finding is that that's going to depress our market through 2008, probably through 2009. We're not looking for any turn in our market through 2010.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Meisner, what's been the experience? I know Amazon's been a huge success story, but what has been the growth online sales since, you said, since '94? Has it continued to be 20% a year? What is that number?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Buchanan. We just released our quarterly report yesterday, and our growth was in excess of 30%. So the online market does continue to grow. Roughly 30% of the units that ship as a result of a sale through Amazon are from other sellers besides Amazon, our retail platform. And as I mentioned before, there are 1.3 million small businesses and individuals who sell through Amazon's platform. Picture this: if someone comes to Amazon and wants to buy a particular product, say a frying pan, they'll come and see a picture of the frying pan. There'll be a description of the frying pan, and perhaps we'll have it for sale for a certain price. But right next to our sale price is the price from other sellers competing directly with us. And oftentimes it's lower, and people buy. As I say, 30% of the units sold through us were not sales by Amazon.com. And so we're seeing a sustained growth there. The number of active customer accounts is now 79 million. That's people that have bought something in the past year from us. So that, plus the overall demographics, which I mentioned before, which I think are so important, that systematically small businesses are being undercounted in their online sales. And so it really is a good news story, I think, at present.